here with just a really quick video that I wanted to throw this out there because this is a knife that I kind of wanted to share with you, give you a quick first impressions on, and then, I'll do a full review down the road. But I wanted to also explain, what was the thought process behind picking this up, because most people would go, Kevin, do you know what year it is? Why are you buying a Brous blade? But let me get into this just a little bit. So, back when Brous blades were quite popular, and when he was doing things a little bit differently, he had a lot of cool models. This being one of them. The original Silent Soldier was sort of the knife that put Jason Brous on the map. The Silent Soldier Flipper was really cool as well. The Division and the Mini Division were both really cool knives. I've never had a full size Division. And I still kind of wish that I had picked one up at the time, and maybe I'll still get my hands on one of these days. Anyway. Lots of cool stuff. I had the Silent Soldier. I really, really liked it as just a little utility blade that I could have on my belt, get out, make those small cuts. It was hardly noticeable. Honestly, it wasn't noticeable. You could carry that clip to your pants and not even know you have it. It's so nice that way. So anyway, I liked the knife, but ultimately I sold it because I fully intended to buy this one. But what happened was back then, this has got to be 5 or 6 or maybe 7 years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago, they were really hard to get. And so, he would put a post out or send an email saying, hey, Ranger V2s are available. I'd go on the website and they'd already be sold out. And so it was sort of one of those knives I just gave up on. Anyway, recently I'd noticed that they were in stock over at White Mountain Knives. That's where I got this one. If you want to get one from over there, I believe they still have some. You can use my discount code SHARPSTUFF to save yourself 10%, which does make this an even better deal. It's not a super expensive knife to begin with, but that makes it a little nicer. And so I saw that Justin had some. I said, hey, send me one. I kind of had that nostalgia from those early days when I was just learning and getting into knives. And so I picked one of these up and wanted to just quickly share with you why I did that. So the first thing is this sheath setup with the little clip on it works exceptionally well. So I normally clip this on my belt in a kidney carry format, and if you're not wearing your shirt tucked in, it's not noticeable. It's just there. It's there. No one else does. It's quick. I mean, the way just incredibly fast. You can get this out, make a cut with it, put it back. And one of the things I found really, really nice about this is if you're sort of in a public setting where you want to be a little bit discreet, no one even notices. And if even, if you're holding the knife like this and you're sort of cutting something, they don't even necessarily know you have a knife at all. So if that's at all a concern for you, if you go into those places where you need to be a little more sheeple friendly, this is a great knife for that. It's also big and thick in terms of, the stockiness of that blade. And so, while it's small and easy to deal with in terms of, carrying it around, you feel pretty confident using this guy. You're not, at least I'm not at all worried about breaking it or damaging it. Now, I kind of wish that it wasn't the black. I would have liked the satin, but I suppose my whole point about it being, not noticeable is reinforced more with this black version. The other thing I have to say is the sheath on this is great. So it's a folded over Kydex sheath. Really, really good retention and very small and hardly noticeable. So again, all the things that I like in an EDC fixed blade. And I kind of wish there were more similar models to this. And maybe, there's a couple from Steel Will and stuff like that. So I may have to try and check some of those out to see if I like them even better than this, but this has always been a knife I've enjoyed. I like the design. I like the setup. Let me give you a quick rundown on the specs, and then we'll call it quits here. So this guy is only 5¼ inches long. That's the blade out of the sheath. When you add the sheath, notice that the sheath doesn't go much past the tip of the blade there, so it only adds 1/8 of an inch. So it goes up to 5 3/8 when the sheath is on. The blade length here is 2 7/8, which is kind of neat for a knife like this because the blade length is actually longer than the handle length and takes up a good portion of the available sort of material here. All right. And finally, I like this particular version. So there is sort of that rounded Wharncliffe style one out there. I haven't seen one of those in some time, but this I really wanted to get my hands on, and I'm quite happy that I have, because I feel like this will be even more useful than the original version was, and I found the original version extremely utilitarian. So there you go. That's my quick rundown on the Silent Soldier Ranger V2. Initial thoughts, I hope that it's going to live up to my expectations and be as good of a small EDC fixed blade as I remember the Silent Soldier being. If it's not, I'll let you know in the full review. One thing I will add as we're finishing off here, this does come with a chain so it can be set up as a neck knife. And to me, I tried the original as a neck knife and found it totally uncomfortable. I didn't like it at all that way, but I did like it clipped to my belt or my waistband. And so that's how I've set this one up. I didn't even bother to try it with the chain. If you really want me to, put a message, a comment down below, and maybe I will. But I think I would go with the same, look, I'll just avoid the neck knife issue and clip it to my pants. So there you go, guys. That is my quick rundown on the Ranger V2 from Brous Blades, an older knife, but one I was really interested in picking up. Let me know what you think of this knife, and if you've kind of gone with me as moving away from Brous Blades a little bit over the last few years. I kind of wish that wasn't the case, but he just hasn't done anything that I really, really could get excited about. There you go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to use those links down in the description. It does help the channel. We will talk to you soon.